Greetings and salutations. Welcome back to Pastor Paul's Daily Devotional, and I am pumped. Why? Because you're here, I'm here. Let's blow this up. So we're continuing our devotions this week surrounding Matthew chapter 28, verses 16 through 20, and the idea is this. The Lord commands all Christians to go, and to make disciples of all nations. The Lord commands all Christians to go and to make disciples of all nations. So, we've talked about this. We got to go reach all the people groups, but it starts at home. Ultimately, outreach starts at home. And so we see this in Acts chapter 1, where Jesus basically said, you're going to be my witnesses in Jerusalem, Judea, Samaria, and to the ends of the earth. So if you're to think about it like on a map where they have those little pings, right? Our first mission is where we're located, moving outward. You start with the center and you move outward. So you start with your house, your workplace, your neighborhood, your city, and so forth. And you move outward in terms of concentric circles, moving outward. So outreach, that is going, crossing a barrier, whether it's a cultural barrier, whether it's a racial barrier. It could be a young person speaking to older person speaking to a younger person, a male speaking to a female. But there's always a barrier, even if people have different spiritual perspectives on the world. If one person believes in Jesus and another person's agnostic, you're going and crossing a barrier when you share who Jesus Christ is with that person. And so ultimately, the Great Commission starts in our workplaces, our classrooms, our neighborhoods, our grocery stores, the gym, and so forth and so on. So it entails leaving our cocoons, leaving our comfort zones, leaving those places where it feels safe. And we cross a barrier to tell another person about Jesus. And it means being bold, okay? Normally, we like to talk about things that are safe topics for us, right? We want to talk about the weather. We want to talk about our favorite spring flowers, right? If you love daffodils or something like that. When we're conversing with acquaintances, friends, family, neighbors, new people, we might talk about our NCAA bracket, how that got blown up, right? Who's going to win the NCAA tournament? We want to talk about that, or NFL free agency, or the NBA playoffs. We might want to talk about, our favorite video game, or we want to talk about the newest show on Hulu, or Apple Plus, or Netflix. Like, these are the safe zones. But there are times when the Holy Spirit opens the door, and He wants us to enter a different zone, where we'll have a spiritual conversation with someone, and we're sharing with someone. I encourage you to go back and watch the service from this past Sunday. The 27th, where Lisa Swanson shared about a spiritual conversation she had, and she asked great questions of a friend and a coworker who's going through some hard stuff, and she asked her things like, how are you handling this spiritually? Who is Jesus to you? And she just asked really great questions. And so oftentimes witnessing is just being involved in people's lives and asking them good questions like, how are you handling that? What is your foundation during challenging times? These kinds of things. So I challenge all of us to pray and ask the Holy Spirit to open doors to share the gospel, to have spiritual conversations, to listen well, and to ask better questions that may lead to an opportunity to pray for someone or share our story in Jesus. All right? So tomorrow we're going to talk about two reasons, which are two motivations we can overcome our fear of having spiritual conversations. But until then, grace and peace to you.